All right, so I'm recording this video. This is the Chapter 6 test review. It is Monday night, right before the Patriots game playing the Bills. By the time you watch this video, the game will be over. I hope they win. I hope if they win tonight, they'll claim first place in the entire AFC. So let's hope so. And like I said, when you're watching this, you already know if they won or lost, or you might not even care. So, anywho, the first set of questions you'll see on the test are literally just inequality equations. So, you solve them just like normal equations. The only difference is you have to create a graph to show all your solutions with either open dot or closed dot, because your answer no longer is just like x equals -2. It's really all the numbers of that could be x that are greater than -2. Therefore, you have to show that in the form of a graphed solution. So we'll go through these the best we can. Let me see if I can adjust the brightness. That might help a little bit. It's a little better. Okay, so okay, so the first one, hopefully for number one, you got x is greater than -2. I think we talked about some of these in class already, but I'm just going to go through it just so you have it here on video and you're ready for the test. So greater than -2. So again, that's an open dot. Um, Starting at -2, shaded to the right. This next one is the first time we saw in class when you multiply by a negative or divide by a negative, you flip the sign. So now it's less than -15. So again, not a closed dot, open dot, shaded to the left, less than. Next one, number three, looks like, again, you're going to have to divide by a negative, not in the first step, but in the second step. So it's going to change from less than to greater than 5. Again, open dot. Number four is the first one that you see a closed dot. So I minus 4x from both sides because that's the smaller term. You could have minus 6x from both sides. You just would have got a -2 on this side. So then you're left with 0 here, but then you add 12 and then you divide by 2 and you get x is greater than or equal to 6. So again, closed dot because 6 is part of the solution, shaded to the right. Number 5 on the review. Again, variables on both sides. Some of you guys are asking, how do you do it when there's variables on both sides? The key is, well, after you distribute on both sides and get this, you get rid of the smaller term. However, you'll see here, they both are the same. So 8x and 8x are the same. So you know right away this will be infinite solutions or no solutions, depending on whether or not you get a true or false statement. So what are you left with? And we talked about this yesterday in class. You're left with -14 is greater than or equal to -24. And as Connor Flynn said last year in compacted math, that is indeed a true statement. So it's infinite solutions. Number 6, again, this one, however, you can see 8x and 17x, those are different variable terms. 8x is smaller than 17x, so usually eliminate that one by subtracting 8x. Left with -2. I don't see any dividing by a negative in our future, but our answer is negative. X is, uh, again, reading it from this direction, x is, remember, like if you're shading this, x is less than -1 2/9. So if I was to shade this, and here I am at 0, -1, -2, and so -1 2/9 is, I don't know, maybe like somewhere right here. It's an open dot. But again, I'm less than because in order for my arrow to show me which way to shade, my variable has to be on the left. So therefore, I am shading uh, less than, which is this direction for that solution. All right, continuing with the review. Okay, now we're into our compound inequalities. So an OR, as you know, is a split. So we just solve both of these. Here's a division by a negative here. So it's going to go from less than or equal to greater than or equal. Works out nicely. Closed dot over here. because of the equal then sign. Open dot here, split it that way. Number 8. Let's see. This was Grayson from last year. If you know Grayson, I must have gave him a sticker for doing this one. So this is a compound and. So I already know it's going to give me a barbell. And so I distributed. And again, if you got confused, I think we did this once in the math message. You could separate this into one equation and then that into another. But I just did the same thing to all three sides. Added 10 to all three sides and then divide by 15. And negative 5/15 is negative 1/3. And 30 divided by 15 is 2. So I have open dot going in less than 2. Reading it this way, close dot greater than or equal to negative 1/3. Okay, absolute value inequalities. So, I'm sorry, absolute value equations. Okay, so not the harder inequality ones yet. So remember, we talked about that this stuff could be positive 11, or this stuff could be negative 11 because the absolute value of negative 11 is 11. So you have to break that up into two equations, which you hopefully already did. Minus 7 from both sides. Divide each side by 2. And of course, hopefully you got two solutions of x is equal to 2 or negative 9. Looks like James also helped out with this one. Since I started to recognize these names, this was Sebastian Garcia. He knew that the first thing to do was add 5 because you got to get that stuff alone. Divide by 3. It equals 6. So there's two possible solutions to this. It could either be 6 or negative 6. This next one, number 11. What does this come out to? Subtract 14. 5 minus 14 is negative 9. Divide everything by 3. Wait a second. You don't need to do that. It's no solution. This stuff, no matter what, can't be negative. So there's nothing I could put in here that would cause this to be negative 3 because it always come out to positive 3. So that is no solution. Number 12, I minus the 3. I'm in positive 7. Set up my 2. Oh, but look, things have changed. I just noticed we're at a greater. Remember we talked about this with math by 5's greater. So then I'm going to break this up into two equations like this. But again, remember this is important for the test. So this is negative 4x minus 7 is greater than 7. But then when you do the scenario where it could be less than, you have to make that a negative 7. And we talked about because this stuff, the version of this stuff could be negative, and you divide both sides by negative, you're going to have to flip that sign when you make it the negative stuff. So again, it's still going to give me a split because when I solve it, add 7, divide by negative 4. Okay, got to switch both signs. So this is now going to be x is less than negative 3.5, and this is x is greater than 0. So it gives me the split. Doesn't look like I don't know if you're going to have to graph them on the test either, but if I was to graph it, you could see like this would be at the 0 going that way. This would be at the negative 3.5 going that way. Number 13. Hopefully you divided by, added 13. Now, at first you're like, oh no solution. But now you're at positive 8. So then you divide by 2, you're at positive 4. Doesn't look like no matter, there's no dividing by a negative. But again, you make it to my less than 4. So that means when I make it to the other scenario where this stuff's negative, I have to make it to greater than negative 4. And again, because I started with the less than, and I know it's going to be a barbell, and it is because this would be over here at like somewhere over here at like negative 4. And then you would go somewhere over here. This would be 0, 1, negative 1. So negative 4/3 would be like right there. It would be an open dot. An open dot. It'd be shaded like that. Number 14. Well, this is pretty easy compared to what we just did, but you make our two scenarios. Again, it's less than, so I know it's going to be another barbell. And when I make my negative version, I switch the sign, and hopefully you solved it and you got x is less than 4 and x is greater than 3. Last type you'll see on the test for today. Remember, when you try the test today, you are literally just getting a sneak peek preview. We'll finish it when you see me again in person. So with this one, it's already in slope-intercept form. This is my starting point at -3. I have to do a negative slope of -4/1. I can't go down 4/1, so I have to go up 4, left 1, up 4, left 1. This is my nice negative slope dude. I don't know why I can't draw him right now, but he's going down the hill. Nice negative. It's a dotted line because this line is not part of the solution. But I can tell you that to shade, usually just go below the line if it's less than. But if I test 0, 0, like we talked many times, 0 is not less than -3. It's actually greater than -3. So the answer is no shading at 0, 0. No shading at 0, 0. So that kind of just confirms, if you're ever confused, what's above, what's below the line, try 0, 0, and you'll be good. This one has to be put into slope-intercept form, minus x on both sides. I got 4, then I have to divide everything by 4. That's a -1/4 x, and then 8 divided by 4 is 2. Another dotted line, starting at 2, down 1 over 4. And again, just to really hammer down, again, it's greater than, I'm going to shade above it, but if I try 0, 0, 0 is greater than -1/4 times 0 plus 2. -1/4 times 0 is just 0, plus 2 is 2. 0 is not greater than 2. It's less than 2, so you do not shade there. So I hope this video helps you prepare for your test that you're going to try today. I hope the Patriots, all right, this is God honest truth. This is a prediction. I say the Patriots win by 4 with the last minute touchdown. Maybe Mac Jones will throw it, but I could see, like, Damian Harris or the other rookie, number 42, kind of like breaking a touchdown run, because they're going to need that final, like, they're going to need a touchdown at the end to win, not a field goal. So they're going to win by 4. I swear, I have not watched the game yet. If that actually happened, that would be cool. See you very soon.